it's definitely um, forcing us to think through what is our commitment to Taiwan, if and what are red lines, what would we do if China were to do something with kinetic force. Of course, this is it's a dangerous situation, but I think that the Chinese, in this case, are overreacting, and frankly, probably for their own domestic purposes, because of what President Xi is dealing with domestically. Health issues, economic issues, and he wants to be around for a third term, and so he's got to deliver something. Um, the Speaker of the House, the U.S. House of Representatives, had visited before, a different speaker. There have been members of Congress coming to Taiwan almost routinely. And so, why they chose to react as they did on this particular case, I think, is there's their own internal domestic reasons. And I've seen responses from some of the Chinese who are complaining that they didn't respond strongly enough. So I'm not entirely sure what to make of it.
It's interesting, isn't it? We've spoke to somebody who's sort of based in Taiwan, and they were saying it's interesting because there's a lot of speculation about what might escalate. But he was actually saying that the mood was quite calm in Taiwan, and actually Taiwan people just want to be left alone, really.
I would agree with that. I think that the government in Taiwan and average people there, they've seen this for quite some time, much the way the people of South Korea listen to whoever's in charge up in Pyongyang continue to threaten total destruction. So there's a little bit of that, I think. And frankly, the Chinese People's Liberation Army and Navy, they are not ready for a conflict. I think
Mm.
they're at least 4 years away from having the capability where they could successfully launch an invasion of Taiwan, or before they would attempt to. They have a lot of ships, but a lot of ships does not equal a great navy, and they absolutely do not have a great navy yet. So I think people that can avoid overreacting to the situation can see that.
Mm. And having said all of that, given there's so much going on at the moment, there's of course the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and we know that Russia, of course, is close to China on many fronts. There, of course, was the news this week about the killing of the Al Qaeda leader in Afghanistan. Do you think it was wise for Nancy Pelosi to make this trip right now? And even if it doesn't come to anything, but to rattle the cage of China in this way and cause these diplomatic tensions, do you think it was wise, Ben?
Well, yeah, I have seen the various criticisms of the speaker of her timing. Is this about her, or is it about her legacy, or is this a continuation of her decades of pushing back on China's terrible human rights record? She was detained there briefly at Tiananmen Square almost 30 years ago. So I think I can see the positives and the negatives of the visit. The White House, of course, is a separate branch of the government. So she as speaker does not have to respond if the White House says don't, you can't go. I think the White House probably was not thrilled at the timing, but at the end of the day, this is also how our democracy works, and it's it's definitely um, forcing us to think through what is our commitment to Taiwan, if and what are red lines, what would we do if China were to do something with kinetic force. I don't know the answer to that.
Mm. Well, listen, Ben, as ever, always a real pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for your time this afternoon.